Welcome to Skholar IAS Current Affairs classes. Today we are going to look into most important current affairs topics of January 13th. Let's get into the discussion. First issue is with respect to reclaiming SARC. This particular topic is important in GS2 International Relations mains portion. So coming to SARC, in 2016, India did not attend Islamabad SARC meeting which is held in Pakistan owing to the 2016 Uri attack. India claimed that Pakistan is behind this terror attack and stopped all its preparation for participating in the Islamabad summit. On top of that, from 2014, for 6 years, there have been no single SARC meeting which had all the prime leaders of the SARC member states. So basically this indicates that the grouping cannot convene unless all leaders agree to meet, and all leaders should focus on SARC so that SARC becomes a powerful multilateral organization or a regional bloc in South Asia. So what is the changing scenario that is necessitating the revival of SARC? There are two primary reasons. One is Chinese aggression. Chinese aggression at the LAC near Ladakh is a big problem for India, and also that Chinese aggression have also been seen with respect to the other countries like Bhutan. So basically SARC is a good antidote to counter China. Second, novel coronavirus pandemic and its after effects had made the SARC very important, because the South Asian region's pandemic story is totally unique when compared to the other part of the world. As a result, SARC members have to collaborate within each other to develop studies and drugs to deal with this pandemic. So SARC is very important with respect to this type of collaboration. So the next question is, why pandemic a converging point for SARC? Basically, as I've said, the experience of pandemic is totally different for South Asians. So it is imperative to study the experience of the pandemic from the South Asian perspective. Also that the collaboration or the cooperation is helpful in vaccine development, trial and distribution. One more important issue is that because of this pandemic, the South Asia alone had lost 10.77 million job losses, which means that South Asian members have to be vigilant about how to set the labor standards, what is the minimum safety that is ensured for the labor, and all sort of social security legislations have to be inducted so that labor in South Asia will be protected, for which cooperation from the SARC members are very important. Also, South Asia experienced 22% of fall in revenue because of the migration and expatriate. This is also to deal something with labor. Another issue is that SARC could be a starting point to revive the hitherto damaged economy across the region. So, for example, in East Asia, they had really formed East Asian single joint visa system to revive from the pandemic. This helps in reviving the tourism. So same initiative SARC membership could initiate so that it can revive tourism, thereby the economy of the SARC members. Next question is, how is China repositioning itself with SARC members? From 2005 to 14, China had really tried to enter SARC, but it is because of the efforts of India that this attempt had been foiled. So basically China wants to be a member of SARC so that SARC does not work against it, and also that SARC becomes a good market for China. Second, all members of SARC except India and Bhutan are members of Belt and Road Initiative. As a result, this poses a serious threat for India, because in no time China would hold a meeting with all these countries and work against India or work against the SARC as an entity. So third is that the renewed tensions with Pakistan and Nepal amplify the threat perception from China. There is always a fear that China would collaborate with these countries to create problem for India. And the fourth way with which China is engaging with SARC members is with its Health Silk Road initiative, where China is providing medicines, PPE kits, and has also promised Sinvac vaccines for COVID. So what are the aspects that are bound to change after the pandemic? So the pandemic is changing everything right from the everyday life to the international aspects. First is there is going to be growing distaste for globalization, travel and migration. And since because there is a growing distaste for globalization, countries cannot suddenly pull out of globalization. So they will try to contract or they will try to keep themselves away from globalization by giving preference for nativism, self-dependence and localizing supply chains. So basically these regional blocks like SARC, ASEAN, all these regional blocks could be something that will be at the midpoint between globalization and hyper-nationalism. It could be a happy medium or a midpoint between globalization and hyper-nationalism. So in this perspective, the next decade would be focused on the power of the regional blocks, and hence India should not miss this trend, and it should understand the importance of SARC and make efforts to revive SARC. What is the India's position now? Only one SARC meeting have been convened by India in March during the pandemic, and rest of all the efforts with respect to dealing with the pandemic is done at the bilateral level. So, though all leaders of SARC except Mr. Modi had asked for an urgent revival of SARC, this has not materialized. So, how to move ahead? It is very clear that China is repositioning itself to strengthen its ties with SARC members. On the other hand, India is losing its ground as a South Asian leader. So, both these is converging to a point that India has to somehow revive SARC. On top of that, political grievances can occur every time, and the politics is always changing across the time. So basically, these political grievances should not be the foundation for any sustainability of an organization, because geography is a reality, and we cannot change our neighbors. So our relations with the multilateral organizations or the regional organizations should not be driven by political grievances, and South Asian neighborhood should act in unison for the common future, because the threat that is posed by coronavirus in this region as well as the aftermath effect is said to have similar effects in these countries. As a result, South Asian neighbors should be having a unity to deal with these problems. It should be revived in such a way that it acts as a force multiplier for India's ambition on the global stage. Basically, SARC could be a regional bloc where India is a natural leader, and we should not lose such a platform where it offers natural leadership for India. The second issue is with respect to WhatsApp's updated terms and conditions with respect to privacy. This has created a furore in social media and in political circles. So this particular topic is important in science and technology portion of prelims and technology portion of mains. So what is the real issue? WhatsApp has announced its updated privacy terms, and it has not given the users the choice to reject these terms. So it has created a problem in social media as well as in political circles. So it has really created a concerns with respect to privacy. So that is the issue with respect to WhatsApp's updated privacy terms. So what is the new privacy policy? WhatsApp says that WhatsApp's user data will be shared with the parent company Facebook. So this is not particularly a new decision by WhatsApp. From 2016, the decision has already been taken. But the difference is that although this decision by the WhatsApp was rolled out in 2016, users already on the platform before the 2016 acquisition had the choice of not sharing the data. So this particular privacy policy update alters this particular choice. Now that any user who is in the WhatsApp need to share the data with the Facebook, and February 8 is given as a deadline before which an user has to accept the terms and conditions, else he would not be able to use the WhatsApp services. So the concerns is that there are two primary issues. One is WhatsApp has promised end-to-end encryption of the private data. By providing the data from the users to other entities through Facebook is violative of privacy. Second, users feel that their private data will be shared with businesses, which again which again is a violative of privacy. So what are the consequences? A social media organization, Local Circles, has conducted a survey to gauge the impact of WhatsApp's decision. And the observation is that 15% of the respondents say that they would stop using WhatsApp. And 24% respondent says that they with their groups are considering to move to other platforms like Signal, Hike or Telegram. Also that it had created problems, or it had strong opposing voice from the political circles. As a result, government is contemplating to institute a parliamentary committee to summon WhatsApp in the wake of privacy concerns. So owing to the pressure from the people as well as in the political circles, now WhatsApp is clarifying its position. Now the position is really being clarified. One is that WhatsApp clarified that the updated terms and conditions will not touch any end-to-end encrypted user data. That is, any personal data that is shared between two individuals, which is encrypted, this particular data will not be touched. Even WhatsApp cannot read this particular messages or content that is being shared between two individuals. What are the data that is shared from the user to the Facebook, or those data which are communicated with the businesses? So for example, if a person A sends a message to the person B, even WhatsApp cannot read it. But if the person A sends a message to a business entity, this particular data is can be transferable to Facebook. So this is the clarification they have provided. Also that the permission to access contacts in the WhatsApp is not for sharing with the Facebook. Third topic is with respect to Cognizant's survey of senior executives about the coping ability of the companies in Asia and Pacific during the pandemic. So this particular topic is important in Main's GS3 economic development. So as I've said, the Cognizant's Center for Future of Work surveyed several senior executives, at least 8,000 to 9,000 senior executives across Asia and Pacific region have been surveyed. That is 23 countries and 14 industrial sectors. All these senior executives have been surveyed, and this particular survey tries to understand how companies have adapted digitally and transformed themselves. And one particular aspect is that the Asian businesses have really survived well and is posing a good resilience ability. So this particular study is also involved in understanding how these Asian businesses were able to adapt to the pandemic very quickly and then emerge stronger. Survey notes that there are three phases of digital evolution. The first phase was dominated by the big tech giants from the West. For example, Google, which has several services like Google Chrome, Gmail, and one more company is Microsoft. All our OS is handled by Microsoft. So this first phase is really dominated by big tech giants in West, leading to global digital agenda. Second phase is marked by artificial intelligence, automation, Internet of Things. This particular second phase is more aligned towards the strength of Asia Pacific businesses. Third, the survey says that the future will be depending on how far we are able to balance mission driven human centric work. So the balance should be achieved in a meticulous way so that the best of both, that is mission driven as well as the best of human centric work, have to come out. So this is the future of the work, the survey says. Now coming to the Indian companies and its business performance during the pandemic, it is observed that Indian companies have bettered far well than their regional counterparts in South Asia. Only 36% of the companies in India experienced a slightly negative or very negative impact compared to the regional average of 44%. Also that 52% of the companies agreed that pandemic had accelerated the adaptation of new digital ways of working practices. So overall, Indian companies are showing a bullish attitude in embracing the digital ways of working. So this is actually attributed to several reasons in India. First is that digital penetration have been tremendous after the entry of Zio in India. Digital penetration have reached even the nooks and corners of our country, and on an average, a report says that Indians are using 11 GB per day. And second, that the digital infrastructure have been advanced because of the Digital India campaign that the government of India have been focusing. So all these factors is responsible for transformation of Indian companies to easily adapt to the digital ways of working. So what are the technologies that the companies in South Asia as well as in Asia Pacific have been recently using to adapt to the digital ways of working? One is artificial intelligence, second Internet of Things, and third big data. So artificial intelligence things is mostly preferred, and now it is driving the businesses. Right from Instagram to Facebook, all the data have been collected and it is used by the business to put forward their products and market it. So what are the factors that impact work in 2023? So considering the pandemic and the way it has altered the work is not going to be same in 2023. It will be marked by hyper connectivity as billions of people, machines and devices will be connected. And work will also have concerns of security and privacy because majority of the work goes online. Third, more focus will be on process automation. So all the industries will be focusing on automation. So what are the skills that is needed to embrace work in 2023? Despite machines, human-centric skills will continue to gain prominence. As I've already said, and a balance between machine and the human-centric work have to be attained. And in that particular domain, human-centric skills gains prominence. So what are the human-centric skills? Decision-making skills, analytical skills, learning, strategic thinking, and communication. All these skills is also possessed by computers, but to use the computers effectively, these five things are essential. So how work is going to be transformed in 2023 is another good question. First is that jobs will become more specialized and more employees will learn to work faster, and that work will require greater technical expertise. This is because most of the work done by humans are now done by machines. As a result, technical excellence is one aspect that humans are required to possess in this work environment. So what is the conclusion? Businesses in Asia Pacific as well as in the Middle East have understood the real purpose of digital tools. Only because of this they are able to adapt to the pandemic and evolve into the digital way of working. Also that these companies are making efforts to understand human machine balance of work. As a result, they are focusing on skills, methodologies, management practices which will be effective with respect to managing human machine balance of work. So that's all we have for you today with respect to January 13th current affairs. For more videos and notes, please visit scholar.com. Thank you.